Good Monday evening, family. Good Monday evening. Thank you for joining us once again on Parent Power Hour, right here on TDP Broadcast and such. And we, Tyrone, I sound like a broken record. You already know what I'm going to say, my brother. We talking about esteemed guests. We always say, how can it get better? How can it get better? And it always gets better. We are blessed to, and I know we're going to have some nuggets of wisdom today on this show, Tyrone. We are blessed to have Miss Yolanda Hargrove and Minister Christina Flowers. If you live in Baltimore, near, in, and around Baltimore, I am sure you know about Minister Christina Flowers and the things that she does for the homeless in this city. This is a very important show. It's a show that was on Rebecca's heart, Tyrone's heart, and my heart as we're talking about another section of marginalized people in this city. And we talk about marginalized families and we're talking about marginalized children within this city. So who will speak for them? We have two people that will speak for them today. So we are honored to be joined again by Minister Christina Flowers and Miss Yolanda Hargrove. But family, we're going to start with our connection question before we get to the meat and potatoes of our show. And here we go with it. Question is, family, and we want you to text, send Brother Tyrone your response to these. And we're thankful for all the time that you respond. Here's the question. What is your favorite hobby? I know that seems probably daunting nowadays. We can't get ourselves away from screens and things, you know, most of us. But if you take a step back and you think about your hobbies, what is your favorite hobby? Miss Hargrove, we're going to start with you. What is your favorite hobby?
I love arts and crafts.
Arts and crafts. All right. All right. Thank you for sharing. Minister Flowers?
I love serving. I've always been a server, whether it's cooking, hosting a party, just being a Libra. I love being a Libra. That's one of my hobbies.
All right. Well, you know, something told me, Tyrone, that Minister Flowers' favorite thing to do would be to serve other people. Something told me. I don't want to assume Minister Flowers, but something told me. Wow. For me, it's kind of a combination. I love art, but I love it in a musical sense. And I also serve with my music. So my favorite hobby is playing guitar and writing music that's divinely inspired by the Most High, but that serves the community and not myself. So that is my favorite thing to do when I have a chance to do it. We're looking for the family to text in, respond in on Facebook Live as Brother Tyrone continues to open the door for you all to come in right now. Brother Tyrone, how about you, sir? Your favorite hobby?
You know, I had to think about this. And I'm still kind of thinking because I don't know, y'all. I guess just for the sake of time and to go so that we can get into it, I'm going to also just listening to music, you know, reminiscing and getting into music. I love old school R&B, you know, so getting into my element, putting music on and cleaning my house, like just cleaning, like that is so therapeutic to me. Music and cleaning my house, rearranging and doing that stuff is like, it's therapeutic to me. That's what I like to do.
All right, Brother Tyrone, thank you to the esteemed guests. And again, family, we're looking for you to participate. What is your favorite hobby? We're going to start the show, though, right now. We're going to have Minister Flowers, if you would introduce yourself and also tell us about your ministry. I'm sure this is one of many, but I also feel I had the privilege, like I was talking to you off air, to just tune in. I believe you were on Morgan State University radio at the time. And I believe, as a matter of fact, your show. And you were talking about some of the things that you do. Can you speak on what it is you do exactly?
Well, first of all, thank you guys so much for having me on. When I think about some of the things that God has privileged me to do in Baltimore City, is basically advocating. It's advocating, it's engaging, it's building relationships with those that are more vulnerable. And it's basically just having a passion for homelessness. Everything else that God has given me the opportunity to do now is basically just knowing my purpose, you know. So uh even doing Nigeria, I learned my purpose because God is always clear with me. So again, serving, engaging, and just being that advocate for those who are voiceless, or some of those who deal with issues that, they don't know how to get it out there, whether they need things or they need someone to be serving them at times. So I think that's the biggest way that I can describe a lot of my ministry, because I am a minister in training, and it really helps me a lot to be able to do the things that I do in Baltimore City at that level as a homeless advocate. Because I get to always, engage with families, meet individuals under a lot of different circumstances and situations, um, build relationships and trust with them. So again, it just gives me an opportunity to advocate in the city the way that our city needs.
All right, Minister, thank you so much. And um, we appreciate you and everything that you do. Um, Ms. Hargrove, tell us a little bit about your story right now. And we do appreciate you having the courage to come on. And, Minister Flowers is just talking about those that don't have a voice. But indeed, you are showing that you do have a voice. And even with your, the shyness that you told us about, you're willing to come on and speak. And for us, we really need to hear what it is like from someone that does not have a home. And I think a lot of us think we know what we're talking about. We think we know what the struggles are. We think we know what the issues are. But I think it would do us a lot of good to hear, listen, and try to understand.
Well, my struggles right now, my health issues. I'm really going through a lot. I've been through 4 diabetic comas and a mental breakdown in August. I lost the ability to walk real good. I'm trying to make it. Just this Friday, I lost a cousin that they say took his life, that I raised as a son. I'm really going through it. This COVID, the kids can't get no space to breathe. We just stuck in the house. I mean, it's hard. The struggle is really real. I mean, I'm lost. I'm trying. I really don't know what to say. I just pray every day that others like me and others can get through it.
Yes, ma'am. And again, we do appreciate you coming and explaining, and people need to hear the harsh reality that many families here in the city and throughout the country, indeed throughout the world, are dealing with when they don't have access to shelter, health care, uh,
Right.
peace.
My
So
insurance is not paying for hardly any of my medicine. I'm just roughing it.
yes, ma'am. Ms. Hargrove, what could you, if you could speak to someone that had power or influence to change your situation, so many others' situation, what would you tell them to do? What needs to be done to help people like yourself in the city?
I would say, as far as me, insurance is a big part of it because a lot of times I'm sick because I don't have my medications. My insurance is not paying for it. Um, Social services is not really helping me. I mean, I really don't. I'm lost for words because I really don't know what to say. But
Mm. You know,
it's
William,
hard.
if I could just share for a moment, and I'm always so humbled by Miss Yolanda. And even now, I'm just really, I'm exploding inside because I just know, even having her talking and speaking. And when I think of her and her situation and the circumstances, even that she deal with on a day-to-day basis, because homelessness come in so many ways. Even when you're in a situation, if you don't have a key to the door, where your name is not on the lease. So when you think about the sacrifices that come for her, not only providing for her kids, but her grandchildren in the midst of struggling with her own health and dealing with day to day, stabilizing a roof over her head. You know, I, um, that's what make it all worth every day for me, even being able to serve her at the level that I can. But when I think about empowering a lot of resources and empowering different organizations to really be effective in their services, because we can give service through a lot of channels, but when it comes to really engaging our homeless families and the homeless population, we have to remember that it's bigger than just services. We have to be willing to put in the work to strengthen and rebuild families when they're going through such like multiple homelessness, the children, the school, they're going through multiple things as an individual because there's not enough empowering different organizations and working with different agencies to be able to make sure that someone is at that grassroots level, making sure sisters like Yolanda can have that wraparound services, whether it's for our kids, whether it's through education, whether it's through the support things that should be there. Because once your health starts deteriorating, now she's looking at limited ways of even being able to access the other things in the community, food, health insurance, things that she's saying. So I think this is an opportunity now. I thank you guys. I know I can't stay on long, but I really thank Tyrone for putting this out there because I know even in the school system, just last year alone, they spoke of the millions of dollars that homeless was even having involving children taking taxi cabs homeless. There's so much money that they're putting in to the public services that they're not investing in the individuals that are going through the trauma of homelessness.
Thank you, Minister Flowers. And I was going to ask you, that's a perfect segue. You know, can you tell the audience what kind of services are you partnering with, and do you use yourself to help the homeless population? Because you clearly are the person or one of the people that's standing in the gap.
Well, I could tell you, from day one, in 2013, for me, it's just been totally God. Like, the partnerships in Baltimore City, when it comes to a lot of the ungoverned organizations, because we're not a funded organization, we really work ministry in the streets with partnerships with those individuals, like Tyrone and some of the things that he do for some of the families. We partner with individuals who basically is utilizing each other gifts and talents to really expand our programs and to partner with things. I tell you what I tell people about churches. I said, I can't be a member, but I can be a partner with you because it's such a bigger picture when it comes to really being effective for so many other individuals. So, the things that we put in place with volunteers, with other ministries, with other individuals that are really out here doing what God called us to do, we put the type of things in place that we utilize each other gifts and talents. If you got food today, if we know where the food is at, we transporting, we're really building grassroots organizations. But the biggest thing that we're lacking is a lot of support from other entities that should be more about empowering solutions in our city at such a time as this. So, the organization is always looking to grow, is always looking to partner with organizations that are interested in really being effective with working with our homeless individuals, whether they're under the bridge, whether they're in the woods, whether they're in a vacant house, wherever they're at, we have to be able to meet them with engaging so they don't have that fear of government agencies breaking up families for other things that they really can't help when it comes to their health or the well-being of their children. So it just takes a lot for Baltimore to really recognize, we do have solutions in Baltimore City when it comes to homelessness. We do have solutions when it comes to having effective services, but we have to be willing to empower each other, even through the financial resources in this city, when it comes to even street homelessness. Because you got so many different components of homelessness, William, that it's such a big deal that a lot of people like to sort of shy away from it because it's not that people don't want to help the homeless. A lot of individuals don't know how or where to begin. So we really look to be that organization that can be that connection, that link to get people to recognize, that we can look at this as ministry. We can look at this as a movement to really ending homelessness in our city. So our organization is always seeking partnerships. We're always seeking that opportunity to connect so that we can be empowered to do more for families like Miss Yolanda and other individuals. So, we right there in Charles Village, 2524. That's where we at, 9 to 5, Monday through Friday. And we welcome and invite a lot of individuals that want to come in and be a part of this movement.
Thank you, Minister Flowers. And before we go to Tyrone, Minister Flowers, I'm going to ask you a personal question because I never thought I'd have a chance to ever talk to you in life, but I do. I'm going to ask you this question. When the government of Baltimore City, you mentioned under the bridge, you mentioned the woods, you know what I'm going to ask you. When they came in, when they raided those families, when they raided those people, when they moved them out, when they put fencing right down there right off of Edmondson Avenue down there, off of Dr. King Boulevard, when they went to under the bridge, when they did these cement portions, I know you were heartbroken. I just want to know, what did you do? Like, what did you do?
William, a lot of times when it came to encampments and dealing with homeless individuals on the streets, it just really took, having that type of radical spirit, having that type of spirit to just really scream out to people, whether it was bishops, pastors, ministers. It is so many untouched solutions in our city for homelessness. We were able to house some of the individuals even through private relationships. Like, I don't care if my sister had an empty room. Hey, we got to help somebody. So basically, again, the organization is so bent on operating in a way that we can't just be about pray, pray, pray. We got to have actions and deeds when we seeing our sisters and brothers dying on these streets because of government decision or a city official decision or protocol or policy or something something that restricts them from accessing services. So really, it just really take a lot of advocating, and you get in a lot of trouble sometimes. I mean, you got to be that rebel. You got to be that Proverbs 31:9, and you got to be able to know that at the end of the day, just like with Sister Yolanda, when that's who I do this for. We got to remember those that even as one individual, I service many, many families, many individuals in the woods and in remote places that ain't no caseworker. They're not going in certain places. So when you service these individuals, that you got to be willing to fight. You got to be willing to fight. So, our city have a long way to go when it comes to addressing our most vulnerable population. And money can be the source of all kinds of evil, but we have a voice in this city that needs to speak louder when it comes to these individuals out in the streets, and especially a time like now where you have the virus, you have the weather changing, and one of the recommendations I was asking today, we need to find a location, a building to really be able to put the most vulnerable homeless individuals in. I don't feel like they should have to stay on the street, even with a mental illness or substance abuse or something wrong with them. They are willing to come in, but some of their mindsets is so structured that they want their own. And when I say they want their own, I got a veteran on the corner right now of Charles and 25th Street. He like, I don't want a room. I deserve my own house. And you know what? He do deserve his own house. He served our country. He's done things. And in his mind, mentally, is fixated on that. So how do you get him off of this corner? How do you get him out of the rain? So we got to constantly come together and really don't accept no for an answer. That that's one thing I can always say. And just keep building with individuals like Yolanda and empowering them to know that they have to speak up to a point where people know they need help. They can't do it alone. They can't just do it with one Miss Flowers. It takes a village to raise a child. And I believe Sister Yolanda got like 4 of them there. So, she need a village and an army. So we just got to speak up. And I'm so proud of her today just for coming on, showing her face and knowing that, we have not.
Minister, you muted yourself. Yeah.
Yeah, we got to act until it makes people uncomfortable.
Well, thank you for that. And I want to say to the family out there, I know that Tyrone has some comments. I had to get that selfish question because I knew, that was a huge fiasco in the city and it harmed a lot of people. So I wanted to know what one of our warriors did. Tyrone, I'm going to turn it over to you.
Let me say
I
this.
love you guys. I got a great closeout. I love you guys. I love you, Miss Yolanda. I love you guys.
On. Real quick, I know you gotta go. Before you go, because someone asked already, and we'll share your information, you Miss Yolanda, as well. But Christina, Minister Flowers, can you leave your contact information?
Yes.
One, for people that want to contact you. We have somebody asking that now. And the building, I know her office is not on North and Broadway. She's actually on Charles Street. It's 2524 North Charles Street. I do know that. So,
and my phone number, they could have my number is 410-365-5567. It's always best to text me and I will call you back. So that's 410-365-5567. And we are definitely open. We got an open table for everybody.
And William, to your point, I was around. So as Miss Flowers said, our relationship go back years. And I think she called me a mentor because when she first got into advocating, I was one of the people, who talked to her about the processes of following money and getting to know her elected officials and stuff like that. Because she was new to the city and new to this political stuff. So I was there at that time. And she she answered the question, but she didn't get into details. Like, this lady was on the ground. When they went to shut down MLK, she pulled together soldiers and she hustled and bustled and found places for a lot of those people to actually have somewhere to go. I was amazed by the outcome, right? And in the way that she had moved, and she was told no also by so many people. And I'm talking about people in power. Okay, I'm talking about people in power who told her, no, you're doing this wrong. And I believe that's what she meant by when she said you'll get in trouble. But she did not let that stop her from helping people. And in that moment, I knew it was something special about her from when we just knew each other before. But Once I seen her, push through and make these connections without financial resources. So she's not getting money from the city. She's not getting money from, other places as a nonprofit or anything. These were connections that she made on her own by herself to get people in places where they were either sleeping in a room, a home, shit, whatever, but they had somewhere to go. From that space, and even continued, within a few years, she got an apartment building, an entire building with multiple units, where she housed, homeless, people in there as well. And so, and then it just go on. So, I wanted to share that. I know she have a way. She's a minister now, and her communication has become a bit different over the years, and that's great. I respect people's growth. But yeah, that's what it was. But also, I do want to acknowledge, as always, our viewers. Thank you all for chiming in. Of course, Yaji, we see you, Harrison, Miranda, Michael Cheney. Thank you all for joining us. Kiana Gorham, Jessica Haley. I want to shout out a few people: Jody McLean, Andrew Pauly, Karen Thomas. Thank you all, Danielle White. Thank you all for joining us. And also we had some folks to answer their hobby questions. So I want to go a couple of, across quite a few of them. Yaji likes crocheting. Harrison said being a sports mom on a good game. Kiana says dancing. Sasha Brock says writing. Jessica says art and hiking. Michael likes to read and sing and dance and watching TV and watching the news and helping out special needs children and young adults. All right, Michael, that's the guy. And he liked to go watching movies and going to church and going to the Legend Club 1111. He also says he's praying for you, Miss Yolanda, and for Minister Flowers. So, thank you all for joining in. Please tap the screen, share the live, and send in questions and comments that you have. We got through that one. Yes, Minister Flowers, it's sad, but sometimes certain people won't move until they see tears or until you wear them down. That's true. I was citing the building on North and Broadway because we can make calls to get the building donated to her organization. Well, I got you. Again, you call her. If that's something that you may know about or whatever, reach out to her. Her information, her phone number is on our page, on our Facebook page. Is actually pinned in the comments now, so you can see it there. I will leave it there for the remainder of the show while we continue to talk to Miss Yolanda, and folks who may want Miss Yolanda's contact information. If you send a message, I'll send you her contact information as well as we move forward. But yeah, like I had to share that because I believe now, and she's gotten a lot humble, with her response on things that she's done. But it's been it's been a lot of work. It's been a lot of things. And I'm one super proud to know her and to be cited as a mentor. So I've done something right.
Indeed, and it's good that you were able to articulate that. Not that she wasn't, but it was definitely a humble articulation by her account, because I remember that, it being horrible. Sounds like, thank you, family, so much for chiming in with your hobbies. Sounds like Brother Michael lives a very full life.
Yes, sir.
Sister Yolanda, if I could ask you, you mentioned the children. What age children do you have that are in schools right now?
17, 12, 10, and 7.
Okay.
And 2 grandkids.
Grandkids. Okay. So how are they handling or dealing with school? I know you said it's crowded, but how,
It's a hot mess.
I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
It's a hot mess because the computers that they're using, they barely work. I have to, I am a book and pen person. I'm not really computer smart. So it takes a lot for me to help them with the work. So I have to have one child looking after another child while I'm overseeing everybody. So some days I miss half a class. Some days they don't get in the class, waiting for technical support. It's a mess. I would rather them be back in school if you ask me.
Yes, ma'am. I can understand that. Um, with have you heard anything about uh, hotels being made available, or were you a part of that benefit
I
or anything?
haven't heard.
Okay, okay. Are you now? You mentioned the kids getting back in school. Are you aware that there are student learning centers throughout the city where the students may be able to come back?
I've heard of it, but I don't think it's any in the area that I'm in. I'm not really sure. I can't really get around too much to find out a lot. My phone is broken, so I'm surprised it's holding on for you guys this long. But I've been calling trying to check like the YMCA. They said they had some type of program. Um, they just haven't got back to me yet.
Yes, ma'am. Um, if you hold after our call, I'll make sure I get you the information for the student learning centers, and if it's possible, transportation that the city may provide. So we'll definitely try to make that happen for you and the children there. Um, so the last question I had for you, you've already kind of answered about reopening schools. Um, and tell us again, I mean, why would that be the best thing for your students? And I mean, how do they feel? Do they feel the same way too?
I feel like they cluttered. Like everything is house, 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 house. Go to class, stay in the house. Go to break, stay in the house. Lunch, stay in the house. Regular hours at the home, they home. It's not a lot of room. Like I don't think they need to be stuffed together all day long. Like they should be able to get out and do certain, well, my kids don't run the street anyway, but I'm just saying, like, have their own friends or their own teachers, just like they sitting side by side doing everything. So that caused them to argue and fuss and frustrated. And then I'm already frustrated with my health issues. It's really hard. And then it's two of the same ages that everybody think is twins, but they're not. Them two, their attitude, this is new. It's not nothing they've been had, but it's been since this whole shutdown process.
Yes, a lot of scholars um, are indeed dealing with the same kind of issues and anxiety just from the COVID itself and being isolated from uh, their classmates in school. So I'm sure with the situation that your children and grandchildren find themselves in is worse.
Mm-hmm. That's all they do is argue all day. It's a lot.
Yes, ma'am. Brother Tyrone, anything from the feed at this point?
I think a lot of folks are just listening, and taking in. It's actually kind of even for me, like it's kind of hard to ask questions with with the circumstances and rather kind of hear what's going on and everything like that. I know a lot of people shared last time when the topic came up when we were on air. Topics came up about like people wanting to help and find out stuff, so those who are out there, like I said, if there's something, a resource that of or want to help, please make that known. Do you think it would help if people came door to door to okay, great, this is a question, Miss Yolanda, do you think it would help if people came door to door to offer assistance?
Yeah,
Yes.
that's what I think will help.
Yeah. Being stuck inside is difficult for everyone. We are praying for you. Folks are definitely showing support. We have a lot of folks sending up prayer.
Thank you.
And Okay, yeah. Could you, and also, so like the struggles with school, like before, have it gotten? Could you compare kind of the struggles that you had, like with your situations before COVID, in versus now with COVID? Like, have there been a difference in the struggles, that you had with schooling, and either it was getting, kids, any struggles that you may have had. um
No, the books that I'm having now actually started after COVID. Like right as COVID started, that's when my struggles. I had struggles, but it wasn't as bad. It was like I could walk, I could do everything by myself like for years, and then I have a nervous breakdown and can't walk now and stuff like that. So it's not even being stuck in the house from COVID. It's being stuck in the house from me not being able to use my left side. So that and the kids, I think my health issues might be a little weighing on them a little bit as well because they're so used to me being on the go. For
mhm.
schooling, I was always a part of their school life, for arts and crafts and stuff like that. Like I create a lot of stuff, and now I haven't had the time to do it because my left side is numb. I'm depressed. I'm stressed. Um, it's just so much that I can't do now, but it started when it got worse when the COVID became. I guess because we became housebound or whatever. But the
What
struggle
could people do specifically to help Yolanda, in her, in her kids, and what you got going on? What is it specifically that people could do to help?
oh my goodness, I don't even know where to start. I need so much help nowadays. I need, I really need help now. Like I don't have nobody to cook for us too much no more. Miss Christine Flowers, she's a blessing. I stumbled over her, and she has been a blessing ever since. She tried to make sure she bring me food, um, my bills because I'm in the hospital all the time, at least 2 times a month. It's back. By the time I get this straightened out at social services, it's back cut off again because they don't give me a chance not to bring my paperwork in. Um, as far as this kids schooling, I wish I could get a tutor to go one on one with them instead of this computer stuff because they're missing a lot of classes. And I'm telling the people as I'm calling and calling them when my phone is working that the computers is not logging in. Then they telling me that I have to come to the school to get it, but they're not providing transportation. I don't have it. So it's days they get on the computer and they'll take all their classes. And then there's days they go half a day, days they go most of the time, and then get to tests and stuff and can't take it because the computer didn't shut down. Maybe if they had a tutor or packets, homework packets that I'm used to, or school packages, I think that would be better
Okay,
because I can pencil and paper it better.
got you. Well, I can personally, I'm I'm saying it now personally. If transportation is the main barrier for you getting to the school, to get other devices or whatever that they have available, we can make arrangements for me personally to come and help you out. With that, to try to at least eliminate that barrier.
Okay.
Um, for them to at least to be able to get better device, the device that they need, to be able to access their schoolwork. And stuff like that. And then William said he would share the information with you about the centers. And then we also know that shortly there are some schools that will be opening um up, and receiving students. So if we'll share that information with you. And again, if it's about transportation with getting to put them in or whatever, however we can help out with that, I would.
And Tyrone, I do have that number. Uh, Miss Hargrove,
Mhm.
the
Yes.
number for Student Learning Center, if you're ready.
Oh, hold on.
Okay.
Oh,
So family, when Miss Yolanda comes back, we're gonna give that number out.
I was gonna say, Miss Yolanda, if I know it's hard for you to, move and get around. I could actually text you the number once we finish.
That's fine. That's fine.
I'll text you the number. I do want to know if you don't mind, if you wouldn't mind saying it, what schools are these? Because we can advocate, what I mean, like on you all's behalf with this, because schools should be reaching out to you. Especially I don't know if it's a community school or not. So if you would share the schools, because community schools coordinators should be reaching out and doing that stuff. So I don't know what schools are your kids attending.
Waverly Elementary.
Waverly Elementary. Okay. So Waverly.
And that's maybe middle and elementary.
Okay. Elementary. Okay. The Department of Social Service has a out of home support that would help with everything. You just call the line. We have funding for tutoring, medical support, transportation, and more. This is someone who's sharing that work there. The Department of Social Services has a out of home support that will help with everything. Ms. Harrison, do you have the number, for that department in which she should call or who she should be reaching out to? If you could type that in the comments, if you have that, or either send it to me in a message so that I can share it with Miss Yolanda. A little later, as I said, I'll text her the information for whatever we get. That would be absolutely great. And thank you for sharing that information. There. Okay, yeah, she's gonna look it up now and send me that number. So I will make sure that you also get that number as well. For you to be able to call.
And if anyone else besides Miss Yolanda would like the number for the Baltimore City Student Learning Center, the number is 443-984-2001. 443-984-2001. Miss Yolanda, Brother Tyrone is going to text that number to you later with the other resources. There is an application process, family, but call them. I think there are, an outpouring of people that are seeking out the student learning centers or some kind of way to get their children and scholars back into the classroom in a safe way. So that number 443-984-2001 for the student centers.
I want to also offer Miss Harrison, if you'd like, we could send you the link so that you can come on the Zoom call now and chime in, to be able to speak with Miss Yolanda and tell her what because you're obviously a part of, that system, so we would definitely open that up to you now if you would like to come up and share. Want to throw that out there. Who's sharing here? Yes, send to me. Okay. Well, Rebecca's going to take care of that. You should be getting something from Rebecca. Up there, go right there. It's up there now. So if you click on that link, we'll be able to bring you in, and that way you can speak directly to Miss Yolanda and the folks. So this is absolutely amazing.
Indeed, this is what we do. We don't know how the show is going to break, but it's breaking beautifully. Brother Tyrone and everyone that is offered some kind of help. I mean, this is what the show is about: is empowerment and family and helping one another. And Miss Yolanda, you're not only speaking. I know that you're not only speaking for yourself, but you're speaking for many people that are in the same situation and don't know where to turn, and they too are overwhelmed. And so we do really appreciate you coming online and sharing your story. Is really, I can't imagine how difficult, very private to do, and even with all your fear about being outspoken. Your voice had to be heard. And so we really appreciate that. So right now we're just waiting on.
She's not texting. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Miss Harrison, Miss Harrison, the link is right on it's our regular Zoom link, but it's right. She actually posted it right in the comments, so you can click from there. I'm sorry, you can go ahead, William.
Oh, okay, okay. No, I was just thinking, Miss Yolanda. Well, tomorrow, Miss Yolanda, the kids are not due to be in school as is election day in terms of being online anyway. Will you get a break tomorrow? Will everybody be at peace tomorrow?
I won't have a break because I'm in therapy 3 times a week. So if I'm not, that's what I'm saying. I had to help them with school, and I need to get back to myself. I'm not. Imagine you walking today and you wake up tomorrow and you're not walking. It's hard. So I've been going to therapy for the last month now, 3 times a week, 2 times a day. And so I had therapy tomorrow. I won't rest because they got me doing the steps tomorrow. The down part is good, but coming back up is like, oh my God. It takes a lot out of me.
Yes.
So
Miss Harrison, thank you for joining us.
Hey, and thank you for having me come on. And first, I want to thank Ms. Yolanda for sharing her story, because there's so many people going through the same thing and similar things. And the particular program that I was telling you about, I know how people feel when they hear about it, but I strongly advocated for it. To tell you who I am, my name is Brittany Harrison. I'm a social worker. I used to work in Baltimore City Department of Social Services, but now I'm in Anne Arundel County. But because of things like this and situations like yours, we created a separate program. So what most people are familiar with Department of Social Services is the food stamps, the TCA, and everything like that. But also connected with that is child protective services, adult protective services. Most people think when they hear child and adult protective services, they think of that remove out of home part, and that is a part of it. But we created this whole other program part. I think it's called in Baltimore City Family Supportive Services. And the whole purpose of the program is to help families that's going through that rough patch in that time, to provide support and services so the family can stay in a home. Because honestly, as much as we know the history of CPS and everything, we don't want to remove children from the home. We want to keep them in the home. We want to give them support. We want to give them what they need. A lot of times when things happen, it's because they don't have the support and the things they need. Like for example, right now with you, Ms. Hargrove, like right now you got some health issues. So maybe your child may not be going to school every day. They might think one thing or another, but the whole time all it is you have health issues. And if somebody can come and provide tutoring 1 or 2 days a week or something like that, y'all be just fine. So the reason why that's what I was telling you about, and the phone number you would call, wait a minute, let me pull over to it. It's 410-361-2235. And
can you text it to me?
I
didn't know I needed
don't
a
have your
pen.
phone number, but
It's 410-361.
2235.
Got you. I'm going to send it to you, Miss Yolanda.
And what you have to do is you got to pretty much tell them, and if this for anybody that's listening and then maybe in a similar situation, tell them is what you telling us. You know, you doing your best, you taking care of your family, but right now, what it sounds like is, one, you need help with medication. You could use some help with tutoring or support around that computer, because maybe if a tutor or somebody come in 1 or 2 days, they could teach them how to work the computer more, so you don't have to so much. Because if you got health issues, bending over and doing all that, it hurt me. So I can only imagine how it's impacting you, bending over and helping them do this and that. But we just got funded for tutoring. They also have funding to help with medical issues. And even while they're supporting you to help you get back on your feet where they don't need to be there, to be like that case management support. That's what it pretty much is. It's case management support. And their goal is they'll come, meet with you, listen to you, find out everything you need and what's going on. And that's kind of called an assessment, where y'all come together, y'all talk, and y'all create a plan on how they can help you not need them no more. It's basically that you call them, they say, you tell them what's going on, I need a little assistance, then somebody will come and say, okay, well, what's going on again? And then y'all create a plan to say, hey, we need ABC, and then we don't need y'all no more. And then they'll connect you with ABC. And a lot of times they can even offer eviction assistance. Sometimes I've seen times where they might have got called, and this family support service will come in and they'll get mattresses. And literally all they needed was mattresses. They get paid for tutoring, just pretty much everything. And I would say if anybody on the phone feels uncomfortable going that route, another route that you can do is going to therapy. And there's a lot of therapy programs in Baltimore City. Some of my favorite is if you Google BTST. Another favorite is Thrive. But now in Maryland and Baltimore City, with therapy, they have this program called PRP, which is Psychiatric Rehabilitation Program. This person is kind of a person who comes out. You got your therapist, you got your regular therapist, however long works best for you. And then they have the PRP person who comes out and they do the work with you. So whatever you're working on in therapy, whatever's going on in your life, they come and they sit down and do the work with you. So for example, like right now, you need to apply for energy assistance, or you can also apply online for the going to school at the different facilities. They would be coming there, sitting down with you and doing whatever y'all need to do on 1 or 2 days a week. And then it's not so much on the government side, it's on the private industry side where your health insurance is paying for everything. And they will be connecting with defined places like medical, like you were saying, you need help with your medicine. It's like two programs in Baltimore City that pay for prescriptions, but the PRP places, they know about them. So they will be able to connect you with them. And sometimes a lot of times I don't like just giving people the resource, because I know you found already, Ms. Yolanda. You call 15 places or 3 places, they be like, maybe, I don't know what you're talking about, da 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 da. But sometimes when that professional, when that professional call with you, like what I'm saying, either the case manager or support person with the social services, or a PRP person with your therapy, when they call with you, you get different results. They don't want to be like, oh, da 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 da, because then we know those extra steps to hold those people accountable for not giving you what they supposed to. Like you got your person over there who was on here earlier, who probably already do for you sometimes. But I would kind of recommend those 2 routes. And if you feel like you don't want to lose, because I'm at the same time I'm speaking to you, but I'm speaking to everybody else who's going through this and is trying to figure out. At the same time, if you feel like you can do all this by yourself, or you could connect stuff by yourself, I always say call 311. 311 is like the yellow book. You heard of 311 before, Ms. Yolanda?
Yes.
Yeah, and anytime you call with any problem, they supposed to give you at least 3 resources to resolve the problem. So you could call and say every single thing, and they supposed to give you at least 3 resources for every single thing. But then it's just that next step of calling them, connecting with them, and everything like that. But those are what I would recommend. And if you run into any trouble, I'm gonna get in my phone number so I can get to you. I ain't gonna give it to the whole internet.
Okay.
But yeah, and whatever you need help connecting with, I got you.
Okay.
Wow, I know William gonna say it. I'm sorry, I just jumped in. Thank you so much, Ms. Harrison, for being a resource, for coming in and sharing, watching the show like this. Y'all don't even understand how much joy just this moment right here brings me, because this was a connection that was made through, this platform right here, right? Like, we're able to help somebody. I got you, Brittany. I am going to also text her your phone number, Brittany, and your name, all right, with the other information that I am going to text her. I'm writing it down right now. Just seeing it in the chat. I'm writing it down right now. But thank you so much for being willing to come up, and thank you, Miss Yolanda, again, for having the courage, to speak and share your story. When I talked to you a little while ago, I told you, what I mean, that like we good folk, what I mean, we cool folks. So I hope we made you, comfortable, and that you, didn't feel, any kind of pressure or anything that you were worried about. I'm going to shut up and give it to William now. But I had to share that, those are my final thoughts. Everyone enjoying us Thursday night at Tyrone's house as we have parent chat.
Ms. Hargrove, thank you so much. We really appreciate you coming on and shedding some true light on your situation. And like Sister Brittany said, and Brother Tyrone's on the same or similar plight to so many other people. So thank you, ma'am, so much.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. And yes, I'm gonna echo exactly what Tyrone said. Miss Brittany, thank you so much for coming on, watching, Karen, jumping on, giving us information that we need here, not only from Miss Hargrove, but others that are watching or know someone who needs the same valuable information. Thank you all, family. It's 5:57. We're gonna step out the door just a little bit early today. Prepare yourselves for tomorrow. Please be safe going out and voting tomorrow. I know some of you voted in weeks past, and some of you may have voted today. Please, if you're going to go out and vote, please be careful. Be as safe as you can in terms of your mask and your distancing. But also, there has been rumblings throughout this nation about possible chaos tomorrow evening after the results, either they are in or not. So family, please be careful wherever you are, wherever you're watching. Keep your eyes open. Join us Thursday, Tyrone's house, where he is the man of the hour every hour. And I'm talking too much, or is that you in the groove, or you telling me to wrap it up? Which one?
No, I'm just in the groove, like, come rock with us. That's
yes, come rock with us. We got nuggets today.
Yes,
we got resource nuggets today. It was beautiful.
Yep.
Thank you all. Thank you again. I really get a smile when people participate in the connection question. And that's what we need, family, to continue to connect, keep each other together, safe, healthy, helping one another. That's how we build a strong community and advocate for one another. That's it. I don't have anything else to say.
Thank
y'all,
you.
Yep. Peace. Be careful.
I see the comments. Y'all see us Thursday and next week. Baltimore City Town Hall is online now at 6. So catch it on Baltimore City Public Schools Facebook page and also on Baltimore City Public Schools YouTube.